migration. One of the forces of nature in terms of category by category were plants, shrubs and trees. At some point they emerged out of the entire creation of the world, creation of the heart, creation of several systems. And also animals emerged. The same way land, water, several other things, air, and all whatever emerged. So the confines of Igala has a very strong link to Abrahamic belief as well. And what is called Igala is the same as Garden of Eden. It's the same thing. There is no difference. For us, it has a very spiritual undertone to our beliefs, who we are, and evolution if we're going through science. To me, scientific belief and mystical belief and the world of esoteric, they're all the same pretty much. If we are patient enough to connect the dots, they're all the same. So to me, it all started from there. It started from that garden, that jungle of the spirits. And there was a transition from the world of the divinities to the world of humanity. And everything pretty much took place in that forest world.
66 million years ago, a meteorite crashed into Earth, killing dinosaurs and most life, quickening the breakup of the supercontinent Pangaea. The new formation of continents with the Atlantic Ocean flowing between Africa and Europe on one side and the Americas on the other resulted in new wind systems that dumped the heaviest rains on the West African sub-region, making it the most fertile area for evolution. With rivers Niger, Benue, Kaduna, Sokoto, and many others emptying their waters ultimately in southern Nigeria, creating the largest continental mangrove and freshwater swamps, where man evolved. In a study of 3,945 DNA samples, differentiated with 1,327 genotype markers, 14 probable ancestral clusters were created, show 58 DNA. A close analysis shows that the DNA values fell as you moved away from Yorubaland in southern Nigeria. Over millions of years, various humanoid species had spread from Africa across the world, as different new species set out to colonize the world, replacing previous migrants. From DNA evidence, the modern man evolved around 120,000 years ago as pygmies of southern Nigerian rainforests, the Yam Belt. Surviving by picking wild yams, the hunter-gatherers led human dispersal across Africa and Eurasia through the Ethiopia land bridge. Due to the Indonesian super-eruption around 75,000 years ago that blocked sun rays and killed previous migrants around 60,000 years ago, Simon's Genome Diversity Project stated that the San Pygmies diverged from Yorubas 87,000 years ago, while Mbuti Pygmies diverged about 56,000 years ago. Yoruba defines the L group. As new migrants from Yorubaland set out once again to colonize the world through Ethiopia into Arabia in what is known as the Great Coastal Migration, as Africans spread to create Sumna, Elam, IVC, and southern China civilizations.
Well, Oduduwa, the progenitor of Yoruba race, has actually came in different transition. But what is constant has always been the spirit that has been coming in different transformation. But eventually it's the same spirit. Spirits don't die. It's the same with Oromila. Oromila is one of the earlier, in fact, major spirits, divinity that came along with the likes of Ogunwusi. Pretty much we have 16 deities that came, and out of the 16 we have 3 main ones, and Oromila saw it all. So it was actually they go in between every one of them. He will be the one to forewarn them. And the same Oromila came in form of ways and patterns. The first appearance of Oromila to the world was through colonels. The same emergence of Ogunwusi from land, deity of prayer, and it's been transformed into different kind of elemental being. So as a result, the world, they have always been there from the beginning, and their spirit lives on till date, and it will keep coming in different forms, different elemental forms. They were there during this time of divinities, the divine world. They were there during the time of superhumans. They were still there during the time of humans, and they will be there forever. Spirits don't die. Well, like I said earlier on, they were the earlier set of divinities that actually worked with Almighty God in forming humanity. And it's been proven scientifically that we are from one single woman, and that's the Eve story. And that's why we all carry a particular DNA in each and every one of us that can actually show the tree of humanity. And scientifically it's been proven that everybody has a log that is very unique. The same way we have fingerprints that is unique to each and everybody. So for us as human beings, we're coming from somewhere. We need to know where we're coming from, and we're going somewhere. And we need to know where we're going to. So my point is, the Yoruba people, by virtue of our project and others that came along with them, they were one big happy family. They emerged from that unitary system, but they had a leader that was assigned to them by Almighty God. And that was the reason why Ogunwusi took that lead. Not necessarily the oldest, but God actually assigned the leadership role to him, and he took that mantle upon himself. So pretty much everybody queued behind him, and the genealogy of the Yoruba people started from there. And who was there that experienced everything when they were struggling for supremacy in the divinity world? It was Ogunwusi, and that's Ifa. A lot of people call different names, Ifa, Afa, across the entire dwellers of Igbo, which is tropical Africa. I'd like to call Igbo the tropical Africa, the tropical section of Africa. That is indeed Igbo. But the center spread, the epicenter of it is mostly Western Africa and Central Africa. So, Ifa is the voice of God Almighty that saw it all when a it all began. And like I said, conspiracy of the entire universe. To me, it's the same as God. When the universe conspired together, that's the same meaning as Almighty God. So for Ifa, it's just a philosophy that has to do with wisdom that saw it all and is the bedrock of knowledge, is the basis of knowledge till date. Still relevant till date. Ifa can never go away. Everybody now in the world of going to Google, you go on Google or go through search engine. What's the basis? What is driving search engines? And just the algorithms, binary forms of zeros and ones, and 16 couples of Ifa, and 16 with 16 children, 16 by 16. That's 256 algorithms. That is still date what is driving all the infotech industry and every soft and hardware being created to better the world. It's still the basis of Ifa. So either you like it or not, if you're a scientist, you can continue to call it a different name, but it's the same concept, it's the same belief, it's the same theory, it's the same principle. So for Ifa is very powerful because Ifa was there, the entire universe conspired when they were sharing everything. If you go by theory, the rational theory that humanity believes in, that male don't give birth, it is only female that give birth. Well, that's the scientific conception. The same way multiplication of humanity takes place. But those days don't mean that you should carry pregnancy like the way humanity sees it. When ocean bring forth something, that ocean has given birth to something. When you go into the ocean has given birth to shells and cowries. That's reproductivity. Ocean reproduces. That doesn't mean that that ocean carried pregnancy and gave birth to something. When you give birth to a lot of people that you have mentored, you have given birth to many multiple successful children, and you're a man. That doesn't mean you carry the pregnancy of those things people you're giving back to. So we need to understand the depth of spirituality of giving back to. And for Oshun, yes, Oshun, the female amongst the first sets that left heaven, that God actually sent to the heart. And by so doing, they actually neglected her. And God said, you can't make progress until you carry her along. If you don't carry her along, you can't make any progress. So she was the first to display how you give a seed and you get offspring out of it. So pretty much, you can call her Eve. It's possible. I will agree with anybody that belongs to that school of thought. Because the Eve name, who gave that Eve name, is the Western world. It came from. What's the meaning of Eve? What's the meaning of Adam? Someone just said, okay, let's just call those names. But we know the meaning of Oshun. We know it. Oshun means multiplication. Onsun. And that's the divinity of multiplication. That's the meaning of Oshun. We know the meaning. And every water body must spring forth. So the meaning of spring forth is Oshun. Onsun. So it's possible to call Oshun Eve because That's the mother of multiplication till date. Yeah, that's a very good question. The truth be told, Ifa is very vast. There is no single soul that can know all the couples of Ifa. It's impossible. You will run mad. We're going to have the first real couples, 16. After the first real couples, then the first 16 gave back to another 16. And each of those 16 gave back into multiples of 16. So that's 256, 16 by 16. And each of them is 16, 16 at that stretch into 16 places. So we now have 256 Ojodus of 16. We have Omodu of another 16. We now have Amulu Molas in 16 places. So we have 256 at a stretch. Each of the 256 now has a minimum of between 600 and 900 couples again. So 256 by 900 each, come on, is running into millions of each couples with each story. So everything that happened in the world to come and the world before, both from divinity days to superhuman days and to humanity, everything is recorded. And that's why we call Ifa Eleri. So it takes you to go extra mile, and it takes the grace of God for you to go and find who we are and our story. The truth be told, everything is inside the Ifa couples. The story of all of us, the story of the Igbos, the story of everybody, Yorubas, the story of the Fulani, the Hausas, the Jokuns, the Ga, the Mbuti people, the Kwesans, the Kwekwe people, the Igalas of this world, the Benins, all of us. It is inside the Ifa couples. And to the glory of God, the Yorubas are the custodian of the Ifa myth. To me, it's beyond myth. It's not mythical, it's a reality. Everything that you see in Ifa couples happen now and in the future. All the things that even happen underneath the water, underneath the deep oceans, right inside the ground, inside the air, inside the space, everything, the trees, the kingdom of the trees, the kingdom of animals, everything, it's there. So you need to have discerning spirit to connect the dots. And it's only the grace of God that can make you get that far together. Well, Odu, each of the Odus is tied to it quite a lot. And all of us are saying the same story. The only thing that is so unfortunate is one is trying to prove superiority. A typical example of it, we have common ancestral background. They have linked their own the first dynasty to the Ogisos that came from heaven. It's okay, yes. And they link them to the water gods and goddesses. Oh yeah, absolutely. We have them in Yoruba land too. We have the same water god and goddesses. And those kind of ancestral masters of ours, our lineage, at some point is common to all of us. So we're all saying the same story. It's not about trying to push superiority that Yorubas were greater than the Benis or the Igbos, or the Igbos are greater than us. No, at some point we were all together. And these are the things that bind us together. These things that we have passed down from the knowledge of Ifa. And as a result of that, we all have different ones that are actually giving back to all of us. Like people that believe in the lineage of water. It's Ose, Lotu, Otura, Lucy. It's called Ose, Otura, Ose, Otura. That has to do with the giving back of the water spirit, water lineage. Ofun is the lineage of Obathalas of this world. The lineage of Osetura are the Olokuns of this world, Oshun of this world, all the water spirits. Beijing. Ofun is Obatala lineage. Ogbe is Oduduwa lineage. It's Ogbe Ofun. So all these things are pronounced in different ways, but we have different stories tied to it, different of our archival material in oral form. Because those days you need to know it by heart, and we've not been able to lose track of it. So what am I saying? We're all linked. Our stories need to be patient for us to connect the dots. We are saying the same thing. We are all we are cut out from the same garments, a piece of the same garment. All we need to do is join the garment together.
If we are to trace our roots, before there was nothing like Igala. We were an extraction of the Juku. Then when we moved and started wandering towards this present Igala land, we came, it was partially empty. Then we made some group that were speaking some form of Yoruba with a mixture of some with Bini. And then when three of us came together, we dominated and we fused together. In that process, the Igala language evolved. It was largely 60%, not 50%, of the vocabulary in Yoruba that entered Igala. And then what we had before our own, we also mixed it with it because we were married. And the product is Igala, but it's a fusion of two languages, and it resulted to the birth of a new one called Igala. Igala could mean arrow, it could mean leopard, it could be whatever it is, but it represents the new name for a new form of language, which are more than 60 to 70% of one other older language inside it. Attah is the priest king, pure and simple. Attah is a king and also a priest. Attah is the head of all traditional religion in Igala. To us, there is no king on earth except the Attah. That's why when our people came here, they established their own kingdom. Nupe left here for Bida. The first fusion was between largely the Jukun immigrants or wanderers who came here. If I should call them so, if I'm wrong, you forgive me. Then they fused together. The language evolved. That is why you have the Igala word, which is largely 60 to 70% Yoruba vocabulary. Some experts in this area should look into it and come out with the correct solution. We call them Apa. Apa people. The road from here to Jukum is not as you see it. The Jukum of that time, the Jukum in Taraba had boundary with we here in part of Kogi State. The route is along the river Niger. Because the same trains, communication between us and the Jukum was very cordial. They go along the river Niger to the confluence. At the confluence, close to the confluence, that's in Panda area now, they turn right. Go along the river Niger to part of Makoda and beyond to Abinse. Abinse is the boundary between the Igala land and Jukum, Barafa. So from that place on to Ukari is the Jukum land. And according to insurance, the Tiflis have not come from this will be south into that part of the land. Inri is not so far from here. It's not very far. You think it's a distant place. If you take a bicycle from here before 9 o'clock or 9:30, 10, you leave early, very early in the morning. You will be in very close to that place. Well, the story, whatever they say about the story, there's some element of truth in it. Well, what I will tell you, we came a long way from very distant land. And we are the same people. How we left, how we moved, see, languages can change people. The type of Yoruba they speak in Kaba, different, totally different from the one they speak in Ilefe or Elisha. Elisha is by the road. There's a place like Elisha. But they are Yorubas. I mean, what of another language coming to infuse and mix together, and a form of language came up? It was totally different. The Igala one, there are various versions. The Igala one is 16, as that of Yoruba is 16. To the Igala man, to the man with a Barafa blood in him, to the man from the original Nigerians, Ifa is cardinal. Directing the breakaway from Jukum up to this very point is the act of Ifa. So the Ifa that told them that move southwards, move to a distant land where we have 2 great rivers, move beyond that and settle at this place. The place is virgin and there's really it's not populated. Go there and settle. And to guide the whole population, they're not going in any vehicle. The man will be leading them. And then others, the whole family, women and children, the goods, all the HRM will be following them. Don't you see how it is? With their warriors, spears and all, protecting them. Where they have, imagine the number of wild animals ravaging the forest there. When they come for the night, they have to protect all their whole family. they move forward again. If I be dictating to them until they reach the conference, then they say go down. There was nobody there, it was empty then. So Ifa in Igala, the A alphabet in Ifa is Alikocheje. The number A in Igala is Alikocheje, like this. That's how it is. If it moves from position of A to that of Alimoku, one of the alphabets, Alimoku is that. Onachahalija is there. Achika is there. Onushudahili is there. I'm speaking in Ifa language. This is for alphabets in Igala. And so on and so on. Etekute is your roots. Where you came from. But through whatever you say about Ifa is uniform. Pronunciation could differ slightly, but the meaning is the same. Our own Ifa will just tell you what is that. Ifa is the light. The whole world is darkness. Ifa shares very powerful searchlight into the darkness. That is what it is. Ifa is religion. It's a language. I'm surprised that Ifa and the computer has the same alphabets and everything. And the computer does wonderful things that we are so surprised. I'm sure those Mauritans from Europe, they stole it from us. Ifa is there. If to name a small new child, if I would say, this is the incarnation of so and so. It's not happening anywhere. It's all over. We're the same people. Ifa is the same.
Original Africans devised the first knowledge database wrongly equated as a religion, known as the African Information Retrieval System, IFA, IHA, AFA. It's based on a binary system divided into 16 divisions that would be further divided. Despite the later language divergence accentuated by foreign colonists in their ploy to divide and rule, African language and culture are basically the same.
And those who are well versed in it can give you a thorough analysis. I wish I had an Ifa priest by me. Then I will now ask him to explain all this. But Ifa is the same. Well, let me explain further before I answer. Now, the black man, Messiah justice. Right? Do you mean the Messiah of the Old Testament and all whatnot and New Testament? That's what they're referring to.
Yes, and Muhammad.
They are all new religions to us. Ifa is between us and the controllers of the universe, which is the Almighty God. Nobody can be greater than the Almighty God. And Ifa as it is, has its source from that angle. Ifa is the ultimate. It is the beginning and the end. It's like the Almighty God pronouncing a judgment. To tell you the power of Ifa, there are two types of Ifa. There is the other one that is tied to shell or the back of something. We throw it. Beat it. We call it in Igala Awa. Don't know what you call it in Yoruba. We call that one Awa. Awa. through it. You beat it with something, recite incantation, throw the stone. Then another man sitting down, bring the sand. Not sand from anywhere. Sand from a junction or from the river, so that the spirits of the river will also contribute. Junction where every dick and harry passes. Both the good and bad spirit will pass, you will get it. Then the man with the other awa will call true. That's the same question. You know that's the same question. You take the stick and talk to it. And whenever I talk to that stick or whatever, or bone, or whatever it is, the Ifa hears. That's the awa. And then if you throw it, the man, the reader of the awa, and the man with the Ifa on the ground is going to be identical. If there's any deviation or difference from what they are reading, then either one of the two is not reading correctly. But if the two correct experts, two of them sit, let them sit in two different rooms, let them have the same motion. The answer that comes out of this will be the same that comes out from the other one. This is the Ifa we know. And there's another one with cowrie shells. That is another type of Ifa. The Igala too have it. They told the cowrie shells, put it on the ground. Huh? Okay, they put some mats, woven mats, and then the same thing will come on it. How they lie, how they do this, they will also read it. This is our own Ifa. The alphabets are linked up to 16. 16, it portrays so many things. If you're a very good Ifa reader, when number 2 moves to number 3, you say this is going to happen. It will happen. So number 7, say, this one are there too. We're prepared. And then everything, all and so on, so is there. The same thing.
Oh yeah, they are very, like I told you, in the process of transition from divinity to humanity. Animals are way older than humans. It's been proven scientifically as well. And even plants are way older than animals. It's been proven scientifically too. The same way plants go to bed, they go to sleep, and they talk and communicate with one another. It's the same way human beings relate. You have to have that deep understanding about it. And what do we feed on? It's the same ecosystem. It's nature. Without nature, that's what propels all of us. That's what gives us energy. So some particular energies are gotten from crocodile that has spiritual meaning. Crocodile is connected to rainfall. It's connected to water, spirit. Crocodile has the power to draw rain. But people don't know. Crocodile has the power, spiritual power, very sacred, to cause a lot of whirlwinds. Leopard is a very wise animal, a loner, very calculated, smart, and has to do with kingship, leadership. Leopard is an epitome of leadership, and that is common to all of us in Africa. That has been the binding force. We are leaders, natural leaders. We are born leaders. And leopard has to do with kingship. Leopard has to do with fearlessness. And every of our race is linked to it. I cannot do without it in my palace. Most things are made of leopard, and these are all my inheritance. I must keep it. It must be with me in everything I do, in my thoughts, my words, and deeds. So as a result, it's a common thing. We only have artificial boundaries in Africa. When we remove the artificial boundary, we will realize that we're all the same. So it's a common factor amongst us.
For the one of Leopard, yes, we refer to princes and princesses sons and daughters of Leopard. Leopard is king of the jungle. And you know it. In our tradition, even if you are the best hunter on land, if you kill a leopard, don't just bring it home and roast. If you kill a leopard, it's regarded as if you have killed a king. You go and buy clothes, do the burial ceremony of a human being, and bury it. We don't eat leopard. We can eat lion and rabbits, we catch it. But leopards are revered animals. So we have a big reference for it.
So you are basically talking about grace. Grace, there's sufficient grace for some certain things. So when you sin and ask for forgiveness, the grace will cover you to carry you. We only understand the old ways of serving God, and it's nature-based. From our belief, retributive justice, it can never change. Whatever you sow, you reap. Whatever you sow, you reap. Clearly. And we believe that you will suffer it. Not that you will wait and suffer it in heaven. No. You even suffer it from hard. So as a result, that's the reason why a lot of people run away from it. Because they are so afraid. A regular, upcoming human being now wants to cheat the other person. So he's afraid of that law of retributive justice. Because it's very spontaneous. It will happen very spontaneously. That's our belief. That's who we are, and that's what we stand for. But they want to hide under grace. They want to hide under religion. Islam, Christian, raise the Bible, raise the Quran, and just say all sorts of decent. And they believe that retributive justice won't catch up with them. So my point is, that is all what we believe in. That's who we are, and you can never change. In those days, we only believe in our heritage, tradition, and nothing more. Nothing more, nothing less. Our heritage, tradition, and customs. That's what we believe in. As a result, you rarely find people causing trouble. If they cause trouble in the society, they will be fished out and they will be severely disgraceful to their generation. It will be very difficult for the next generation to come. And that's why you see a trader putting out something. And they will put a mark there. Yorubas call it Ali, Abba Lili. And people will come and buy and put the change and return the change. And if you come there, you don't have money truly. There's another thing you do, but it's very touching. You will eat, if it is banana, you will eat it and you will pack the leftover peel of the banana. You will keep it by the goods. Just to let the person know that truly you hate it, but it's because you cannot afford to put the money down. So you now left it. And that person will connect to the Creator and pray that God should provide for that person that had this thing and couldn't pay. And God should bless the trader back for that person to have taken out of his own sweat or her sweat, that God should bless. And definitely he will be blessed back because he's giving out to who that came, somebody that came that didn't have money to eat. And that is the real and original retributive law of that justice. So as a result, we need to go back to those days. And we need to instill morals, ancient beliefs of who we are, our heritage, customs, and tradition. That is what it stands for, till date. We are way advanced and developed. You didn't even say more. We started real estate planning, urban planning. We were the first in the world to start what is called community and settlement. planning that the Hall of Fame is here. This is the portion that community will be having city gathering. This is how houses should be planned and laid out. We started it, but they took it away from us. We're the first to wear clothes. Yes, I'm saying it again. We are the very first to weave clothes. We started from this throne, right in this palace. The first cotton ever discovered and planted happened here. It's in Ifa corpus. It's clearly stated in Ifa corpus. We are the first to weave. We are weavers. A particular section of the race, that was what they are known for. And that's Iseyin. Iseyin people took that, they didn't call it white smith, it is black smith. We're the first to smith and smelt black. The first set of black to smelt iron, the first set of black to smelt bronze and to use lost wax. There was nothing like cameras and pictures then. It was strictly artwork. And we have it in terms of checking it out, in terms of dating. They haven't been very fair with us in terms of carbon dating and electromagnetic dating. But this time around, we are telling our stories by ourselves. Nobody will tell it for us. I like what you've said. Everything started from the governance God handed over to our progenitor, Ogunwusi. God handed over heavenly governance and had 8 inner and outer chiefs. They call them Agbagba Merin Tumba Lufe. We started from there. 8 to the left, 8 to the right. They were the people divinely to support the initiatives of our progenitor. Then Ooni refined it, took that kingship system to Benin, and that dovetailed to the eastern part of the country, all the way to the land of Chukun, Igala, Yoma, and all that. The same way it was taken to Oyo, and it was refined in Oyo, and they are called Oyomisi. They started separation of powers more than 400-500 years before Europeans started. We started it. It's proven. It's there. It's in the records. Several centuries we have been doing it. That they know how to respond. Oyomisi. They refined what our progenitors started. In Ife, we had clear separation of powers. We have Ooni, that's the Supreme Court. And that's what led to the Oshubos and the Obonis. They are the last to give judgment on any erring part. Any erring part. We have a structure of the legislative arm, the judiciary arm, and the judiciary arm has category levels. Then the Oyomisis are the legislators. They deliberate. They have the, not that Alaafin has the final say. They will challenge Alaafin. They have a structure. They let it from here, our cradle, and they refined it. So my point is, it's been proven that we've done it before the Western world. Clearly, there are books to support that. Well, we have a point there, but to a large extent, the people that brought Abrahamic religion, they had their agenda. The only thing they could do is to destroy what we were holding in our hands, so that they could penetrate us and cause division, continue to cause division further. They brought guns, they brought sophisticated weapons, and the only way they could do it is to tell one another that we don't like ourselves, so that they can easily sell their weapons to us, and we can use those weapons to destroy ourselves. So it's a strategy. Bringing religion is just to further divide us. Bringing religion is just to further cause more problems for us, so that they can try on that disunity. They can drive from the chaos and chaotic behavior. When we're not united, the house will fall. United we stand, divided we fall. So that has been their strength, the area of strength. They are diplomats, and they are very good at doing it. Causing problems, causing division all over the world. Looking for the weaker vessel, looking for the weaker section of the race, and they will use it to instigate the other, and they derive their strength from there. And they will now play a role of being your brother's keeper to settle the fight. So my point is, it's a decoy. So I won't say we fell for it, unfortunately, but a lot of us are waking up now to bring back the heritage of our ancestors. You said the religion the Hausas were practicing called Bori. Yes, they have a very strong link together. Most Hausas, they came from the Waris, because the Waris and the Gobirians. They have a very strong blood link to Yoruba. We still do Ibori till date, but not everybody in Yoruba land accepted it. It's like Orila or Kato Osha, Moloriwa, Moloshawa, Tori Beni. That means your spirit head is stronger than anything in the world. So give honor and give that recognition to your spirit head. But you know, when Islamic religion came to the north, they said we're all pagans. That was the only way they could bring down that religion, so that we would follow it through. And it worked. Because life became simpler. Those religions are way simpler. And people want something very easy going and simple. You go to church, you dance, you pray, you don't spend any money for sacrifice. It's easier. Islam, you pray 5 times a day and you use water to do ablution. And that's it. It's a lot easier. So those were the angles they entered us. You that you want to do Bori, you can't use only water. You have to feed your head. How do you feed your head? You feed your head through killing ram. You shed the blood of that ram. You shed the blood of the cock, etc., etc. These are things you derive from nature. But they said, no, we don't want that. So obviously they will have more followers. But underneath it's deceit. So my point is, it's a decoy. And it's unfortunate it has affected our race. So we're trying to put it back together.
The Hausa history and the Arab culture is for those people who believe in them. That is for them. Simple. We have no business with the Arab culture. What is an Arab is doing in my blood? There's no Arab blood in me. The Kwara man. We are the original Negro people that God created us, and we fight Nigeria before the Arab came. And don't forget, there were 2 types of slave trade that affected Africa. There was this Trans-Sahara, which was the first slave trade before the Transatlantic, when the New World was discovered. They come here, Arab, they are very treacherous people. In as much as I was trying to say we are brothers or we have the same religion or whatever, another man cannot give a black man water to drink, even if you are very thirsty and dying. They came here to raid, took our trans-Saharan slave trade. People whom they lost on the desert was too much. That's why you have people as far as Saudi Arabia and Yemen and other places. You have black men there. It's the product of slave trade there. And because of their, their misgiving, they see a black man, say he has the color of the devil. Who has ever seen the devil? Nobody. You tell me who has ever seen an angel? Or who has ever seen the Almighty God? You see a black man say, yeah, they too, they have the color of the devil. We'll tell them. God gave us this beautiful land. Beautiful people. We relate to God Almighty. Who is that person, that woman can say the skin given to me by Almighty God is that of the devil? The person, I will not only cause him, I will cause his father and great grandfather to die in the hottest part of hell, if there's anything like that. So, we are ourselves. We are independent of ourselves. We are never sold our independence to any other person. I have the greatest pity for any human being who has no identity. Let's come to Nigeria. I don't want to cause anyone in Nigeria. But how can you come and meet me? Say, Hausa Fulani. What does that mean? Either you're this or you're that. Some of the people who are from our own stock here go to places like Birnin, go to places like FCT, some parts, Plateau, Bauchi, and other places. Birnin, people forcefully turn their mother language into a second-class language and speak the language of the foreigner. How can that person hold his head high? Everything about him, history, everything, is gone with the wind. Never. If I'm from here, I will insist. Let's speak our language. Then they now discover their roots. How can I take somebody, no matter of how it suits me? It suits me for one reason, but it's also against me for so many reasons. We who are ourselves will remain ourselves to the core. Why? If they have Ifa, they decide to discard it and call it devil language. It's a business. But devil language has led my own ancestors to come and settle here. If that is devil language. And it's spread across all our people who have retained their identity. You know, it's if you are a human being and you don't have any identity, it is neither here nor there. Then you should regard yourself as close to an instrument made by the white man or computer. You turn it here or a car, you drive here, it goes there, you drive the other way, it goes there. So you can't have identity of your own. But we are in the midst of people with identities. How do they compare to who have identity? Even if there is no common language, the Ifa is the connecting link between us and all our people. The Igala people, that is Okuta. Okuta is this. What is in praying? Where I will migrate to carry it along. Go to all my people in all the states of Federation where I have Igala. They have Okuta. And Okuta must have a Yoruba origin. Because when we speak Ifa, say this is the stick we use to speak to Ifa quietly. When we speak to the Ifa, You touch this in Ogute. Yes. That's it. A little, in fact, people should go in and research into it. We'll find our commonness in all about things, everything we do about our life. So it's not our identity. So we know ourselves. Even our brothers that were taken across the Atlantic, or even across the Sahara Desert, there are some elements of Africanness in them. Search you will find. Let me tell you, a new wave, the white man tried all their tricks to take everything from us. In fact, to turn us into white men like them. They couldn't. And the people who tried everything, they tried to convince us that what we had before is fetish, is bad, is everything, is devilish, is unwanted. Huh? It is very powerful. Except you're a man, you stand on the ground, let me speak Nigerian language, you stand gidigba. Then a person come, you know, say, Akuruka is hit, the person will go down. You can influence even the food we eat. See it now. The food we eat. No banana, no cross soup. All spaghetti, macaroni, everything. At the time they were at Indomie, if you know food for birds or whatever, say food. Somebody do something like, what do you call it? I don't want to be sweet for something that is not like food, like African food. Eh? You see, I eat Indomie, spaghetti, all this stuff, you eat it. Black man, start munching raw leaf and raw tomato. Only to make say they will tell you that this is this, that is that. If you are one of them, eat. But you cannot be a white man. Because these people, they permeated into all the fabrics of our culture. That's it, if you let them. Of course, you can't change me. There are my brothers out there watching us. You say never. You can't change me. I remain as African as I am, wherever I go. When we are able to ward off those people from foreign land, what are those people coming around us trying to change our own decision? No, we say no. You can't change it. If I go to a public forum, I can't speak Igala. When I go to my compound, I must speak the language to my people and my children. Isn't it? That's the way we can see our culture. Because the other man is not seeing anything good that has produced us. It will be very difficult for us to accept them, except we want to sell ourselves to a point where we are neither here nor there. You don't belong to A, you don't belong to B. Where are you? The middle of the ocean, no direction, then you will be lost at sea forever. So we should hold our own. God has created us differently and made us become different. So stay your own, let me stay my own. Let me remain myself. Be yourself, I am myself. So you see, it is very painful. We can't take rubbish for things that is better for us. No. We have made this, they have taken from us. They've taken our men, our strong men from here, go there to farm their land, to cultivate, to dig tunnel for all their underground and everything, to build giant houses for them. The same thing. Other people are coming from another way again, trying to tell us, yes, our skin is inferior. We don't have this. When we have this, let me tell you, the word alchemistry, what does it mean? Let me ask you a question.
Making of gold.
Making of, yes?
The gold.
Chemistry.
It comes from golden, from our gold.
No, well, that is, we are partially right. Chemistry is black magic. Don't you know?
Yes.
Go and look for where it came from. It's turning stone to gold.
That's what it does.
Black men could do that. Black men did it. Can you imagine the story of Jesus Christ? The three wise men. Are they not black men? They are real black men. Now, modern days, they try to make their nose sharp or their hair long, and then even if go to Rome, the Station of the Cross in Rome, go and see the Christ there in the Station of the Cross is a black man. She is round face, the round eyes, not pointed nose, and then with woolly hair, as we call it. What have we done? That the white man should come and look down on us? No. We have the intelligence. The black man will turn stone into gold. That was where the origin of chemistry came from. It's black magic.
It's also the thing of medicine.
Uh-huh.
That the beginning of medicine, which is using antibiotics, came from our what we call Shopono. That's
a very powerful deity.
Yes.
Shopono is a powerful deity.
Yes.
It's part of this created by Almighty God. We draw power from them.
And herbs. That are herbs. There's no herb that is not. I mean, all the herbs.
All the herbs. Yes, if you know the efficacy, you can use it to do so many things. Yes. Nobody has done research into that. But now, because you go to research, they frustrate you. You do this, they frustrate you. You do that. Now in Nigeria here, one of our Igala sons discovered the cure of AIDS. Yoruba brothers, two of them, a woman and a man, they took him up and then tried to kill him. He stole his idea. If people are in the church to taking, what of the AIDS? You should have ravaged us now. Look at you. Look at this country. Where are we going? Two prominent Igala sons, Dr. Jeremiah, they say you should bring the formula you use this in. The day the Dojena, what they call it? What is that man who killed this small brother? I don't know his name. Did he show you? Jacob Abla is another man who through help has been able to cure this. Because the white man said there is no cure. Oh, all of us, promotion with all the hair, bad, do research for 20 years without any result. You say it's not possible. Don't you believe that those days when we have snake bite in the bush, everybody should sit here and call the snake, it will crawl from where they directed it, it will come here. They will not catch it and kill it. It's when they get the antidote to cure the leg. It happens in Yoruba land, it happens in Igala land. These are things we should look for. Now, you see, when all the chiefs are down, that's between you and the final step. You turn to do, even grab what do you call it? A python, a poisonous snake. If you are down, you can grab it to stay afloat. Isn't it? You see, when some of our people, those who take decision, they've relegated the chief to the background. We lost during the military incursion. They forgot that they were the traditional rulers. When things happen, they run to the traditional rulers to beg for support so that they pacify the people. That does not help matters. You talk of culture, you talk of medicine, you talk of economics, you talk of so many. All our life, culture is the way how we manage our environment, how we sustain in conquering our environment. That is the whole thing, fused together. That's the essence of the whole culture. Huh? When people are pushed to the end, then now most of them resort to culture. Some of it could be fetish, some of it could be barbaric or civilized in to some extent, but take the good ones. They are useful for the society. Chemistry for one is black magic. Let them explain it. Why did they say white magic? Because those days, the black man was known for performing wonders. Is it easy to start making noise and people will start putting that voice noise you make and laugh and make merriments? Music is a very tough area. The toughest music, the most serious music is jazz. It's not from here. These are good things. Now the modern type, the rap, hip hop. When started, they say it was devil music. All the what you call convicts in the prisons, or drug addicts and so on. That's their music and so on. But that music turned around now to make millions of dollars, and they are reaping from it. When they look at jazz, in those days of Sakimo and others, of blessed memory, they criticize them. What is this nonsense the black man going to grow? But jazz is studying all the universities of the world now. They started playing violin before they came to see Africans, before they took us there. But today, I've shown them something. So these are areas we ourselves should look at. Where God has kept us here is the best weather in the world. We don't need to suffer for anything. I can go to the stream at midnight, take the water and drink. You can't go to America. Before you reach the ice is frozen. You have to dig to reach the ice. Is that the place to? It's not conducive of my habitation. There are so many things. You throw a mango, throw the seed away. The next year is germination. 2 years later, it started producing fruit. You didn't do anything to support it. I'm not grateful to God Almighty. So these are areas we should look at and thank God and see the contribution we have made to the development of our society. There are so many areas, so many inventions created by the black man. Somebody cover in the US, black man, the general and all this and so on. It's not for it. The brake system of the railway, black man. All these things are not documented. Look at our slaves, they took them from here to somewhere in Caribbean where they take oil or something like that. The drum, they started to create music from the drum. One drum can play all sorts of tunes around it. It's not enough to give the black man the credit. It's not only music. It's the one I know I'm talking about. There are so many other ones. Look at the talking drum. No, talking drum also has a deity. Talking drum doesn't talk for nothing. It's guided by the spirits. Sad things that made us one. Why are we looking elsewhere? What is wrong with us? So if I bleach from here till kingdom come, I cannot be a white man. God made my nose to be as fat as this, so that more air can enter here and supply my lungs with enough oxygen. Isn't it? Come up, wake up. So we will try to make that nose look like an arrow. Why is God creating like that? That place, the air there is too cold. If you take too much, it will, you get pneumonia. Isn't it? That's why they make their own very tiny, free like that. Our own is big because of oxygen there. We take. That's why we excel in so many things that is physical. My friend, I don't want to talk beyond this because our time's exploding.
On a very large scale. it's about time. Nobody will tell our stories for us. We will tell our stories. So I'm working on it. What Ashe Foundation is doing, I'm very impressed with them. Very dogged, very focused, and purpose-driven. What they're doing, I will support what they're doing all the way. I like the initiative, and this is another means for our heritage not to be destroyed. This is another means for us to know what binds us together and what destroys us. What binds Yorubas, the Igalas, the Nubes, what binds all of us together. So I'm very happy and impressed about what Ashe Foundation. All I can do is to tell them to keep it up. God Almighty and the spirit of our ancestors will continue to guide them.
That organization is the beginning of good things to happen to us. And I'm happy Ooni is at the pinnacle of that organization. And it must succeed. We are being attacked from the north, we in West Africa, and even those from East Africa, you can see northeast or thereabout, by some Arab influence. We're also being attacked from the south by European influence. If we can knock that off, even not all, a bit of it, then reality will down on all the other groups. Then gradually we start picking the pieces of our culture. By the time we put them together, we'll see what it has produced, and then we'll marvel at it, and then we'll automatically go back to it. That's it. You see, it has already started, but you might not be aware, or your brother there might not be aware, or some professors, egghead in the US might not be aware. Some of us too might not be aware, but it has started. Look at one of the most powerful instruments of our link with our ancestors, which is the Ifa. They have stolen it and incorporated it into the computer. Isn't it? The computer, why is it 16? Why is it not 21? These are areas. See that? So it started taking from us. So before they take the rest, let's come together and form as a group. They did everything to remove us from the face of the earth. Africa is the richest continent in the world. Don't you know? Africa, where God put us. And life started from Africa here. As a black man. So what are we waiting for? It has been predicted that the black man will come and rule the world. It will happen. What is ruling the world? By the time we start making analysis now, people will go there to punch hole in some of my analysis. But indirectly, we are ruling the world. Let me tell you, the computer today is used to every aspect of the white man's life. Where is the alphabet from? It's from Africa. We like games, football. Who made the football? Who can now face the net, tumble, and then kick it in the net? Is the black man, the Brazilian. The man was taken from West Africa and made a slave. Through unripe mangoes, he was teaching his boys how to play. Today is something. Black man is giving to them. Jazz music. All of them. Let them claim it. So many things. These are things. Let's look inwards. We shall find a solution to all our problems. And that petition must come to pass. Because the white man brought Christianity to Africa. While Christianity started from Africa. Have you forgotten? The roots started from Africa. The white men now, they are trying to come to Africa and learn the religion they brought to Africa. Who is winning? My brother, we have a lot to go.
Thank you.
Lord.